Hey everybody! Thank you so much for joining me today. So on this Sunday, I decided for my design team, the first project with the kit that came in, I wanted to do a sketch video, and we're inspired by this one here. I got it off of Pinterest, and I will make sure to have links down below to where I found it on Pinterest. And we're going to start off by using the stamp and stencil from the kit. I'm just using some archival ink. And because the stamp is long, I don't really have a block that works for it, but I wanted to have spots where, it didn't completely touch the paper. So I'm using the flexibility of it to press down and put the different sections of it in the areas that I want instead of, having a flat or surface to just, press it all down at once. So what I'm gonna do, I was just laying down the photo and sort of like the collage of papers we're gonna be using, and I just wanted to make sure that I had enough of the bricks all around um, before going on to the next spot or part, which is the stencil with the light paste. So I'm just taking the palette knife and very lightly in different areas, putting down the light paste. Anywhere that it goes that I don't want it, I'm just going to scrape it up using the edge of the palette knife and go from there. And I just want enough that it's going to peek out around the photo and then of course on the far left side. Now, after it dried over a couple of days, I laid out my papers how I wanted them to bundle, and I'm just using the press and seal to kind of keep it all together, and then I'm going to try and tape it to keep it as one piece as possible. Okay, so I'm just using the ATG tape. You can use your glue to put it all together. Around this part, while I'm laying all this down, I realized, you know what? I really want to put it on some fun foam, just so that way I can give it some dimension on top of the project. So I attached it to the white foam, and now we're just going to attach all the pieces in places where I couldn't get to it on the other side so that they're all laying down flat. And then we'll cut around the outside edges once we're done, like I said, laying down tape for all the pieces to lay. We'll cut around the foam tape using our big shears from uh, Tim Holtz. So we're going to just cut around. And I really don't use my fun foam that much, so I wasn't worried about conserving or anything like that. I literally just wanted to have the foam, all along the backside evenly so that way all sides were lifted at the same level. And you could have used chipboard, um, cardboard box, whatever you have at home to create that same feel. So for decorations, I wanted to use this chipboard piece that came in the kit from 49 to Market. Uh, the one side is one large piece, so I'm going to put that over here on the corner, and then I'm pulling out some of the nuts and bolts and what looks like gears, and we're going to pull a bunch out, and I'll be doing some heat embossing with those. And I already have my title pulled out from my stash. All right, and then I got another package of gears that I'm going to pull a few out of just to have some more different shapes and a little bit bigger. They're still on the smaller size, but I think it works out. And we're going to color them with the heat embossing with some silver, copper, and then I'm also going to use the gold that came into the kit, which is I have it right here. Boop, boop. Oh yeah, we're going to use the Distress ink pad and The gold is going to be the Wow Gold Rich. And my ink pad is getting just a little bit dirty only because of the chipboard pieces that I'm using. Some of them do stain it, but it's still sticky and you can keep using it. You don't have to worry about it. It's not going to, transfer or do anything weird because you're going to be covering it with embossing powder anyway. So I off camera did a bunch of everything that was up at the top with the silver and the copper, and then I'm just on camera here doing the family and the one gear with the gold rich from Wow. All right, and then we're just going to scoop it back in. And then I'm going to grab the heat tool and we're going to try and go ahead and heat that up. Now, I will tell you, if you don't have a protective layer between your heat tool and your mat, you do run the risk of having it bubble up on you. But after time, like I'm sitting here at my desk right now, and that little bubble that I had, it did go down. All right, so we're going to grab our piece and all of our little bits, and we're going to get ready to start building everything and putting everything together. So I turned it over and I'm just adding the ATG tape to the fun foam on the back. And then I'm also going to take the art glitter glue and I'm going to go into the areas in between. That way we know for sure we have good adhesion. All right. And then once I got that down, I'm going to attach my photo so that way I can put the large gear piece where I want it. And sometimes the ATG gets off track. I just press in the gun and pull it so that way it's loose again and I can get it all, put back together. And then to attach the chipboard piece, I'm just using the art glitter glue and I'm trying to hit it on all the spaces that I can. There are some that are super thin. You just get it as close as you can so that way as many pieces are glued down. But even if you miss some, I think you'll still be okay. And initially, the family on the paper, it just wasn't standing out to me because of the gold color of the pattern paper that everything is on top of. So that's why I grabbed a piece of black paper to cut and trim down so that way I could attach family to it so it would stand out. And once we get it all glued up, we're just going to go ahead and get that attached. And then we're going to attach it with some of the ATG and the glue again. And then we're just going to go around and attach all of our gears. And I'm using, like I said, the art glitter glue because it literally was right here by my hand. But you could use 3D matte gel if you guys have any of that. You could use the what's this one? The Tim Holtz one, the multimedia matte from Ranger. I was thinking Ranger and said rat. That was funny. Okay, yeah, but the multimedia matte. You're gonna want to use that, or anything that you can put like a precision tip on it. I found that's very helpful, especially for the smaller gears. But you could use some of the 3D matte if you wanted to attach it. And in my stash, I had a lot of these clear. They're almost like rectangles. They remind me of the round ones that sometimes people use in their mixed media art, like their, how do I explain it? Like your altar projects and stuff like that. And I thought they would be really cool to lay in such a way that they look like extended bricks on top because since they're clear and you can see through, you can still see the embossing and the stamping that we did first through these glass pieces, and it just gives it an added dimension when you look at the project itself. I really like it. So I'm just taking the 3-in-1, the fabric glue, Fabri-Tac, I think it is, and I'm putting a little dot right in the center. And then when I press down, I try to press so that way the glue spreads on its own and goes evenly across the entire piece. And once we do the side ones over here, I'm just trying to place them so that way I know where I'm putting my pieces. Then we're going to go ahead and start attaching these as well. And I did find I had a little bit of a time getting the glue out today. It just tells me I need to get a new bottle. I have definitely used most of this bottle here. But I do like using this one, especially when it's any of those clear stones or uh, these pieces like this, because it dries clear. You can still see through it, and I really do like how it holds too. So once we get all those, then I'm going to work on a few down here on the bottom. Sorry I'm off screen or off camera view for these three down here, but I just wanted to attach them real quick, just so that way it's uniformed all around it. It's around the photo and then the two on the sides. All right, and then once everything was on, I was thinking, you know what? I want to splatter. But to keep this more contained, let me go ahead and grab my cubby. I've used it in videos before, but it really does help and it makes it just easier for cleanup purposes because splatter does get everywhere. So I'm taking the black distress, it's the black soot distress spray stain, and I'm just taking my little tool and hitting the nozzle so that way the splatters will go evenly across. And then once I feel like I have enough of the black, I'm going to do the same thing with the white picket fence spray stain. Now, I will say the difference with this one, I did have a couple of white droplets hit the project and they were really big. Um, I wasn't expecting that, so I did just kind of like wipe them up with a paper towel. But I would just say be careful, because I really wasn't paying attention until they were already on the project itself. And then sometimes when I'm doing projects, I do like to use golds or the shimmer gold paints from Ganzai Tambi, the starry colors that I've used before. But this time I grabbed one of the color bloom sprays. Ooh, I don't even have it here anymore. I think I put it away. But sometimes I'll take them. Now this one had a little bit, it had a very yellow tone to it, and I didn't want the yellow tone to overpower the entire project. So I just placed some down and then dabbed it with a paper towel to kind of tone it down a little bit. But there's our project. And once again, from the kit, we used the distress ink and the embossing powder, the chipboard pieces, and one of the 12 by 12 sheets from the Kaiser Craft collection that we got in the make kit. So here's my project. You can see the close-ups, the glass rectangle pieces mimicking the brick layout. I think it came out pretty good. I'm not mad at it. I did at one point take a gel pen and kind of go around the photo and the layers of paper just so that it would have a little bit of black definition to kind of tie in with the paper that the title is sitting on. So thank you guys again. I will have links to the paper collection from the websites down below. If you do go over and shop at www.scrapbookingwithme.com, make sure you use coupon code TT15. Thanks again, you guys, and I hope you have a great Sunday.